real smooth.
Super smooth.
Smooth. Really smooth.
That thing is so smooth. Suspiciously smooth.
Like butter.
And one.
Yep.
Two.
Yep.
A 1, 2, 3. Hey, we actually did it in unison that time. Wow. All right. Hey, welcome.
Hi.
Lukas.
Bradley.
I don't know why we introduced each other, but introduced each other. Blue, blah, 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 blah. We're just getting the warming up here,
the juice is out.
Yeah, it's going to take a few flumbers.
I don't know, flumble.
I'm making up
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We're back at it. Bradley was out in Austin, Texas, looking for our location for our American spot. We're expanding. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
We this is happening a while after, but this is our first chance to film together in what, like a month and a half?
Yeah.
Maybe longer. Maybe.
Feels like longer. Yeah. It's been a while. So good to be back.
Yeah,
We've still been with each other all every day, so the banter never stops.
And the power of YouTube, you know. It's like, and we're just back, and we, anyways.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over the InMotion V12 today. We got one of the first production models. I think we got the first production model in Canada and one of the first in the United States.
That's right.
We air shipped a bunch out, and we sent them to some influencers. Mark Rebellet, he's got one of them. If you know who he is, Loop Daddy.
Throwing that tag up.
Yeah.
God, he's so good.
Yeah, I can't say anything, but we love Mark Rebellet. So anyway, so we're planning on opening in Austin. We're trying to finalize our lease deals. We'll see how that goes. And we're excited. We're excited to expand into the United States. We actually started shipping to the United States from Canada now. So we are accepting orders, but
And what, like almost the same, pretty close to the same amount of traffic is coming from the States now. We had, for a while, we had that, I don't know, someone made a post on TikTok or what did it end up being?
Was this guy named Electric Roller
Shout
on
out
TikTok.
Electric Roller,
I think he had a video that got like 2 million views.
Yeah.
And he kept tagging us in it in like the comments. Like people like, where do I get those? And he said eevees, and then our traffic like literally skyrocketed.
Yeah, took a while to figure out what the hell was going on, but shout out Electric Roller, thanks for that nice surge. And for the sick content all the time.
He's actually riding the V12 right now.
Right.
We sent it to him.
One
of the V12s we have.
Yeah.
Anyway, the V12, man, it is an awesome wheel. I'm like really, really surprised. When I heard they were coming out with a 16-inch wheel that can do 70 kilometers an hour, it's like, that sounds sketchy.
Yeah, especially from InMotion too, right? Like they're more known for not so much performance wheels as they are for kind of like safe, reliable, mid to entry level kind of vibes, right?
Yeah.
So for them to come out with something so far on the other side of the spectrum, is a bit left field, right?
Definitely is. So they actually, I think because they make it go 70 kilometers an hour, a lot of people are never going to go that fast. And quite honestly, I haven't even gone that fast yet on it. I think my top speed is maybe 60. But the nice thing is you have this huge leeway. So even though the wheel can go 70 kilometers an hour, if you normally cruise around 40 or 50, we're talking kilometers here, guys, just so you know.
Sorry.
If you normally
cruising 50, 60 miles an hour.
If you're cruising 40, 50 kilometers an hour on the thing, and you start to reach like the limit of you're never going to reach the limit of the wheel. So your chances of cutting out are strongly reduced. So that makes it a really safe wheel.
I'm happy you said this because I feel like this is a good place to start because this is maybe one of the most important factors of not only InMotion as a company, but it's very obviously where they're planning to go with their future is a big focus on safety while also not sacrificing performance and reliability and all that.
And features.
Features.
Tons of features.
For safety, we have, let's just start there, these tangential nature of our conversation. So safety, we have the fact that you're never going to be, most people, I'd say 95% of people, unless you're wrong way bouncing off 69 over and over again in this video, which is insane. But it's like, I can't hit 70. It's like, dum, 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 dum. My God, shout out wrong way.
Adam. Shout out Adam.
Yeah, shout out Adam. So we have that, but then also there's the voltage tilt back, like voltage based tilt back, right?
Yeah. And a lot of wheels do that. They'll tilt back when they start to reduce the battery. It's not going to let you go 70 kilometers an hour anymore when you're at 15% battery, which is a good thing. That's a safety feature.
Smart.
And InMotion does that as well, which is nice. I felt like one of the common themes, and we'll play some footage from people that have rode. I actually did a group ride in Austin, and it was a group demo ride. So everyone tried the V12 and made sure everyone had enough time on it. And then when I got back to Vancouver, we did the same thing here in Vancouver. A common theme that everyone's saying is, wow, that's way more stable than I thought.
Yeah.
Like, way more stable. It's so smooth. We heard it's so smooth so many times. And it's packed full of features that you don't see in other UCs.
Any other UC.
And I really, really like that about it. Being able to completely tune the foot pedal sensitivity. So you can, they call it accelerating, and you can adjust how hard or soft the accelerating is and how much it reacts to your movements. And you can adjust the braking and how hard or soft the braking is.
Okay.
And so it kind of allows you to tune it, and it takes some playing around with to kind of get what you like.
You have a specific number now. Remember, you're saying to someone, you're like, I'm 73% this. And
yeah, so I'm 34%. I like 34% accelerating, so like super soft accelerating, but 64% braking.
Okay.
And I could have done 35, 65, but you know, the slider is sometimes a little bit tricky to do.
I like how you didn't even do 33, 66, like an exact 1/3. It's like, no, I'm 34 and 64. Like, I got to really tune it in.
Yeah, but I actually really like that. And for me, as you guys know, if you watch our previous videos, I love how the RS accelerates and brakes and how it
Watch Love Triangle.
Yeah, watch the Love Triangle video. And I really like how it accelerates and brakes.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed is if you can kind of tune the InMotion V12 to kind of feel closer to what you would feel on an RS.
Right.
And so that part is probably my #1 favorite.
So to me, it seems like after listening to a lot of people and how they like to tune it, and someone said, oh, I like to put it this way, you said you like to put it that way, it's almost like kind of like one of the most chameleon-like wheels, where it's just like whatever riding style, and not only that, but you can also adjust the pedal height, which I'm sure most people watching this know, but you can, you know, like actually unscrew the pedals and drop them down up or down 3 tiers, lowest and highest and mid, obviously.
Yeah.
We put ours in the lowest, increased stability.
Yeah, I feel like most people like the lowest. We had some people that came rushing to our store when they heard we got the V12 in, and they took it for a demo right away before we could adjust anything. And they had in the highest pedal clearance, and people were saying, it's kind of wobbly. One thing I realized that the V12 came terribly unbalanced. The tire was way off.
Crazy.
And I took it for the first time for a ride. I'm like, whoa, this was nothing like the
wheel
I tried in Austin. So I went like 1 block towards home. I was going to take it home that day. And I'm like, nope, not happening. So I brought it back to the store. I took my Sherman back home. And I fixed the tire the next day. It just needed to be balanced. And then once we fixed that, we lowered the foot pedals. Got the same people that didn't care for it when they took it out the first day, and they took it out again. They're like, oh, okay, I see it. I get it now.
Yeah. I had only spent, you know, a good amount of time on the 16X. So it was my only real like 16-inch wheel experience, and I could never. I don't know if it was just, especially back then, I was a newer rider or what it was. Maybe I'm heavier. Maybe a combination of the two. I just couldn't get stability over 30 kilometers an hour. And my first ride, you know, it takes a while to get used, especially with the shakes with the new wheel. I just breezed
especially
past 40 as a newer rider. But like on this thing, there's not many other wheels of any size. Maybe the Monster, the Sherman, of course. That's about it. That so quickly I just like confidently moved past 40. You know,
you felt stable. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, it hit 30.
When you're going 40 on the Sherman, you don't notice.
No, you just
going 40.
Yeah,
I mean, when you go 60
Monster,
on the Sherman, you barely notice going 60 too. So
well, I noticed
kilometers.
Sorry, I noticed 60 on the Sherman personally, but I don't really notice 60 on the Monster. But I'm going to do my own video someday about how I love the Monster.
He loves the Monster.
It's the big boy wheel.
Yeah. So. There's a lot. The stability was a huge surprising thing to me too. I was expecting the 16-inch wheel to be super shaky, especially at higher speeds. But I don't know. I was riding 55 kilometers an hour to work today, and
just laughing.
I was like surprised.
3-inch wheel, right?
The more I ride it, the more I love it too. So one thing about it is a 3-inch wheel. 16 by 3.
I was like, don't answer me.
We're looking this way because that's where the V12's chilling right now.
Stop staring at me, beautiful thing.
But one thing it does, and you kind of have to get used to, is it rides very upright. And I find that as also mentioned in our previous videos, as I love how the Veteran Sherman, you can lean into your turns, and I assumed it was because of the knobby tire. And so what I did is I put a knobby tire, the IRC 1, on my Kickstand S18, assuming that it would give me the same riding experience as a Sherman when it came to like turning at high speeds. We can really lean into it like almost like a motorcycle. And sure enough, that tire, the knobby tire on the S18 changed my whole love for the S18. Like that, I was riding that thing home every day for weeks after that.
Every single damn day, yeah.
I loved it. And because you could turn like you could on the Sherman.
Yeah.
And it's more lightweight, and I only go 6 kilometers home, 6 kilometers back, so I don't need the Sherman to take home every day. So I was loving, I was trying to find all these little jumps on the way home. Anyway, as I mentioned in the previous video, is yes, the knobby tire definitely makes a difference. And I think because the V12 rides so upright, it almost bounces for you. And I say that because I feel like a new rider would actually have an easy time learning how to ride the V12 because it feels so bouncy. Like it just like, it keeps you upright. I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they did anything differently, but it seems so tuned just to keep you upright. And maybe it's because of the length of it, how tall it is, how it rests higher up in your legs.
It's the only wheel of that size and power that I can do little pirouettes in a, you know, like I don't do the beautiful electric juggler style pirouettes with the leg back, but I can, you know, until I get dizzy, that's like what stops me. It's just the thing has enough control. I can get on one foot, start getting in a circle, take the foot off, and just start spinning. And it's
100%.
like V10, V8s are like the only other wheels that I can really...
Going backwards on it, people were, everyone that demoed it were like, whoa, this wheel's really easy to do one-legged, go backwards. It's really easy to ride. It's really easy to control. It's super maneuverable, but still stable. They really knocked it out of the park in this one. And I think that is, I truly think that this will be our #1 selling wheel. I have zero doubt about it. I think we're going to sell more of these than anything else. We got quite a few of them. We took a gamble on it before we even tried it. We ordered a lot of them.
Trust you emotion. Don't let us down here, okay?
We definitely trusted InMotion to bring out a banging wheel, and sure enough,
they certainly did.
They did.
The big thing for us too, what we haven't mentioned, is we're based in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It's a rainy place. Not lately. I haven't seen rain in...
It's the driest week July ever.
Amazing. Amazing. Not for our grandchildren, but amazing in the moment right now. But IPX5 and IPX7 water resistance based on the battery pack and the body. The body. That's unseen in the EUC industry, and
it's gonna be huge for Vancouver. It's gonna be an all-weather riding machine.
And I mean, like, ingress protection isn't just rain too. That's dirt, that's dust, that's grime, right? So really anywhere where you're going to be getting inside the wheel, cue the duck.
Cue the duck. I was just gonna be like,
anytime it happens, it's not just rainy, right? Ingress protection, IPX rating is for any sort of stuff that's gonna get inside the wheel. So this is just, some wheels kind of, I think I want to just mention one thing really quickly too. IP rating, it's actually like a certification, and a lot of the reasons why some wheels don't have it is it's really expensive to get that IP rating, like up to $1 million for IPX6, IPX7.
Now, do we actually know that InMotion certified it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if for them to say it's IP rated, that would be like going against copyright or something. They would get sued to oblivion. Which, you know, some places are a little bit less.
It is China.
Liberal. Yeah, you know, I don't want to say the specific.
I really hope it is truly certified. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I believe it is, and I think it says on the box too, if I'm not mistaken. Just like on the 9-bot boxes, it'll say IPX4 or IP4. Anyways, there's some wheels that people just know as really resistant. You ride your Sherman in most weathery conditions. Leaper Kim says don't, but that's because they don't have IP rating to protect them from it. And in this case, you know you're protected.
It's nice, and like you said, in Vancouver, it's kind of a necessity. But
if you want to be riding all year, at least.
One thing I think is having back to that knobby tire thing is you throw that knobby tire, if you could fit it on this. Although it does seem like there's not much room, extra room in the wheel well area to actually fit a knobby tire, so we'll see if it's possible. But I think it would help being able to like throw it on its side a little bit and lean a little bit more into your turns. That's how I personally like riding, but it could just be my personal riding style. Everyone's a little bit different. Some people don't need to like lean so hard into their turns.
I never found that when you put the knobby tire on the S18, I wasn't like, whoa, revelation. Whoa, you know, it still was a great wheel before and after, but it never, maybe it's because I didn't ride it that hard.
It takes a little bit of getting used to it. Again, like when I first got on it, I found the knobby tire on the S18 was kind of like throw me to one side. You kind of have to throw yourself back up, and it would lean to another side. You have to throw it back up.
You into the track.
But once you get used to it, you're just using the weight on your feet to bring it back up to balance. And then you can really throw it on your feet on both sides to really lean into your turns.
Gotcha.
And that's what I really like about the feeling of the knobby tire on the S18. I'm looking back there because that's
Like
where it
who's
is. But yeah.
We got to address the wheels with our eyes when we talk about them because we truly believe they're sentient creatures. Kidding.
Oh man. So yeah, back to the knobby tire. I really want to try it on this. I think it would make it like an ultimate wheel if it's possible to put one on. So we'll talk about a future video if I'm able to actually.
Yeah, maybe we'll make a short on it. Like, got the knobby tire on. He was right.
Love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I haven't put it on the RS yet, but everyone already knows the knobby tire in the RS makes such a difference.
Yeah.
So that's the knobby tire. I want to talk about the smart BMS as well. I've talked to InMotion a little bit about this. It doesn't have a smart BMS where you can actually check the individual battery cell voltage, which you used to be able to do on the one wheel until Future Motion decided they didn't want people diagnosing their own battery packs or whatever, and so they got rid of the battery cell readings. You can still do it on a few aftermarket apps, but Future Motion is trying to stop you from doing it. But anyways, it's really good to see what every battery cell's at to make sure your batteries are balanced.
Makes sense.
What you can do with the InMotion V12 is you can see which one side of the pack is voltage-wise and what the other side is. So you can at least see if both packs are relatively balanced.
Yeah.
If one's off, then you know maybe you have one or two some bad cells in that pack, and
Right.
it's the other pack.
Better than nothing.
So it's definitely better than no smart BMS, but I wouldn't say this is a full smart BMS. Maybe they have the capability of doing it, they just haven't unlocked it yet.
Right.
But I know that was a really anticipated feature on these things after the flaming fire stories. So it's nice to know that you can kind of monitor your battery and see where you're at there. Sound wave feature where it connects the motor's RPMs to, it's not doesn't all sound like what it sounds like, but you connects the motor's RPMs to the Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
And when I first got it, it sounded pretty cool.
Yep.
It was like a cross between like an actual motor,
Yeah, it was like a muffled dirt bike.
but slight electronic-y, so like slightly futuristic. But now it sounds like some crazy Jetsons spacecraft or something, and it's just
Psychedelic Jetsons situation.
honestly embarrassing how bad it sounds that I never want to ride with it. But the other one was so subtle and it was nice, and I loved it. But you're wondering, like, what do you mean the other one? So when we first got the V12, it didn't have the newest firmware that allowed you to do the split ride modes where you could change the accelerating and the braking hardness and softness. It just had off-roading and commuting mode.
Yeah.
And and it had the nice sound wave sound.
Yeah.
And then I upgraded the firmware. I'm like, yes, now I got this feature that I've been waiting for forever. But now it's like, I can't even do it. We got to do a sound clip now. We'll have to post it. But yeah, it's pretty close. So please, InMotion, change that.
Go back to the cool vibrating rumbles.
Back to the first one. And also, you used to be able to change the volume of it with the volume of the Bluetooth.
No longer.
And now you can't do that, but now you change the sound wave sensitivity and it changes the volume. So,
But even with still, it's like you start it up and it's immediately just insert shitty rendition.
I will
of sound.
say, InMotion's wheels amazing. They thought of every feature, but their app is just god awful. They try to put these like cool features in, but it's not user friendly.
Yep.
A lot of times,
Yep.
you have a hard time connecting to your wheels, and we experience this every day at the shop.
Yeah.
InMotion, please
guys.
fix that damn app. It's
Yeah.
awful.
It's so bad.
Yeah, and just the language, like translations as well. They could just I
know. Just put a couple $100,000 into a good app.
Heck, just ask me what you should call everything, and I'll help you
exactly.
rename all the features in the app.
We'll help you.
Yeah, we have a good partnership here.
Yeah,
we love your products.
exactly.
So, other than that, I want to play some clips of people's reactions on the V12.
Yeah.
Because we did the group ride, as we said earlier, in both Austin and Vancouver. And we also had sent one to Toronto. And so the riders in Toronto were riding it around. And I gathered a bunch of clips up. They're all various qualities of video, but we'll throw them up there and so you can kind of...
I think this is a really well balanced, real well built wheel. That the weight, it feels solid. Like I'm not gonna fall off. I'm not gonna wobble. It just hit a bump and just kind of rides through. You know, it's awesome.
Yeah, right on.
I mean, this is great.
Yeah, that is similar
It's smooth, really smooth.
Yeah, right on. Thank you. Yeah. How do you feel?
It's very stable and pretty fast, and I'm speechless.
Right on. Would you buy it?
Yeah, 100%.
Next wheel?
Yeah, next wheel, man.
Right on. Are you liking it?
Loving it. Can't do this on mine.
Oh shit, nice. Yeah, it's a really good one-legged wheel, I feel.
Like I can do it on mine, but it's just not as comfortable.
Yeah.
Hitting it harder, but so far I'm loving it. It's like super smooth, accelerates really fast, and it's super light. So like I'm not getting any speed wobbles at all when I'm like really hitting. I think I hit like 40 kilometers an hour on it right now. Slow down, hit the brakes real quick, no wobbles at all. I got a little bit of like a jump when I hit a bump because it's so light. It was not hard to control coming down. So I'm gonna try the speeding at 100%, see what that feels like.
You were flying back there.
I didn't hear any alarms, and I pushed it about as fast as I felt comfortable. I got a little wobbles on the brakes, but not bad at all.
Yeah, more stable than it looks, right? Especially with that 16-inch wheel.
Yeah, way more stable than the 16X. Getting up to speed, that thing is so smooth. Suspiciously smooth.
Yeah, it surprised me too.
That's really cool.
It's definitely faster. It's really easy to sit on. Because it's so tall, it's really easy to do one legs. I have a hard time doing it on my other wheels. Braking is strong enough. I was able to overpower it.
Yeah, that was a weird noise.
Yeah.
So that was cool to hear that, but it didn't cut out. It just
Thankfully,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty, I find it stable enough at high speed. I think it has a lot to do with the tire pressure. So whoever complained about wobbles at speed is probably due to pressure, because tire pressure on this right now is pretty low.
This one has a higher top speed, which really made me feel good. Not that I go that fast all the time, but it made me feel a lot safer.
Yeah.
On that side. And the response for the carving, I felt pretty good. And I think you told me earlier, if you put one foot, if you go one-legged,
Yeah.
you can control it easier because it's so high.
Yeah.
So I like all that. It kind of responds in an interesting way to when you, I don't know how to say it, like when you brake, when you shift your weight forward to backwards, it shifts the pedals in an interesting way. So there's a little bit of getting used to.
Sweet wheel, man.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, eh?
Yeah, man. It's like really controllable.
Yeah, that's what I found too. 3-inch with the 16, it's nice.
To summarize, yeah, that people love the V12.
Yeah.
The smoothness,
I love the V12.
stability,
I'm a person.
the build quality. We're gonna go over some of the features actually on the wheel right now, and we'll just show you kind of how the on-screen app works, the
Yeah.
handle, the kickstand.
Let's cut to that.
Cutting to that now. Okay, so here's all the features. This is the touch screen. If you tap this guy, you can scroll through all the features. Now the touchscreen is different than like your iPhone touchscreen. It uses more pressure than it does like the, I don't know, static or whatever, or warmth in your fingers. So you can use gloves with these and they should still work. But it is not the best sometimes, I don't know, a little finicky. It is bright enough, even in like the heat of the sun, for me to look down and see what my speed is, which is kind of cool. I was thinking that it wouldn't be bright enough to see the speed in the direct sunlight, but it seems to be fine. But here's the standard features, which are pretty cool. You can adjust the speed. You can switch from commuting mode to off-road mode. If you have in commuting mode, you can actually adjust all these, the pedal sensitivity. You can have split ride mode on, and you can change the speeding and the braking. Hardness and softness. So the higher the percentage, the more reactive it'll be. The lower this percentage, the more loose it'll be. So next, you can make it for the auto light on and off. Ambient light are the light modes on the side. You can actually have it change to your music. You can pick which color you want, and it'll actually like bounce to your music. And DIY, it's not a feature yet. I'm thinking that they'll allow you to do your own lights in the future, like kind of customize how that looks. Adjust the volume of the Bluetooth speaker. As you can tell right now, it's quite loud. Screen auto off, it'll actually automatically turn off, which is kind of nice, and it'll wake when you tap it. Sound wave, that was the feature we were telling you about. It sounded awesome when we first got it, and then we updated the firmware, and now it sounds like a Jetsons robot. You can turn that off by tapping that. Spin kill, that's the lift switch, which is pretty standard in all models. And balance angle, you can adjust that. I like it at 1 degree. And then vehicle calibration, if it's starting to balance kind of weird, you can recalibrate it. Assist balance, I think this just makes it easier to balance. It keeps it more upright. I don't know how, but I tried it and it did seem like a little bit more upright, but at the same time, I don't know if that was just me in my head. It's hard to say really. And then you can put it in transport mode right from here. It also allows you to put a PIN code on here as well, so you can actually have a password protected, which is quite nice. We don't have it set up in the store model because people use it all day long, and it'd just get annoying if they had to enter a PIN. Tells you the speed right here. We can't seem to adjust it into miles per hour. No one's been able to figure it out. So it's in kilometers per hour. Yay, Canadians and the rest of the world. And it shows the battery voltage, battery percentage, and you swipe here, you can actually adjust you can change the name, and you can put your own photo in there, and it kind of shows you your average things here. Average speed, 7 kilometers an hour, doesn't seem right. Yeah, anyway. Max speed, 18 kilometers an hour, that's not accurate, so not sure what's going on with that. Maybe that was just me on this actual riding in the store. But yeah, there you have it. That's the touchscreen features, which is quite nice. Okay, next is the handle, which is very similar to the V11, but slightly improved. You pop it up with a switch at the bottom, it locks into place. This part doesn't slide off like the V11 did, which I found quite annoying. And it's quite nice to carry around when it's upright and you're balancing it. It's quite sturdy. I quite like the handle. I think they did a good job with it. Next are these pads here. Now these, I don't know if you kind of tell in the video, but they actually come out a little bit here and a little bit more concave here, and then they're a little bit more out here. It's like a very, very subtle power pad. Works for some people. Some people are going to want something definitely more that you can actually like lean into to get some torque out of it and better braking. So these can kind of come out, and we're actually working on our own version that will clip right in here and that you can replace this with. So we're working on that now. Hopefully it'll be ready in a few months for full production. Okay, next are the foot pedals here. They're standard classic InMotion foot pedals. But the nice thing is you can take the rod out, remove the pedal, and then take 4 Allen keys and move this up. We have already moved it down to the lowest. Personally, I think that this is still a little bit too high, but you get used to it, and if you do want to ride off-road and have more clearance, you can move it up a little bit, but I don't like the loss of stability at speed, so I prefer the pedals at the lowest setting. And it seems like our community, everyone that tried it, seemed to like the lowest setting best as well, although no one tried the middle setting, so it's saying that. All right, next is the kickstand here, which is much better than the InMotion V11. This kickstand actually is wider, so you get more stability out of it, and you can put it on more uneven ground. So I quite like this kickstand. I feel like every wheel should have a kickstand like that. Next are these bumpers that are on both sides. These feel like they'll actually protect the wheel a little bit if you crash it, and the nice thing is you probably only need to replace this. Hopefully it protects the plastic from cracking. It does seem like it could be one of their more durable wheels because of this. I really like these lights. They're really kind of futuristic looking, and you got like the alien kind of style shell in the front and back, which is kind of cool as well. The actual lights, I don't know if they're going to change these in batch 2, but they're kind of underwhelming. After the V11 came out and it had like the most impressive light on an EUC, this was a little bit disappointing. It does have high, low, and they're all right. They do the trick, but it's not a deal breaker for the wheel because it doesn't have the best lights. But I'm hoping the batch 2 will improve on these. Not sure if that's the case, but yeah, that's that. Okay, and then there's the tire they use, which is a 16x3, a classic CST tire. I like that it's 3 inches wide. You get a little bit more stability out of it, and that's probably partly what makes this wheel so stable for being a 16-inch wheel, which is nice when you're going at high speeds, especially when the top speed is 70 kilometers an hour. So that's quite nice. But yeah, and other than that, I don't think there's much we covered everything, I think.
It's kind of just general wrap up. It's a solid
every time we end the video, I'm like, after I'm like, oh damn it, I forgot to talk about the
main
flux
thing
capacitor. What the heck? So
maybe we'll make an addendum at the end, but I think overall just a super solid wheel, game changing in a lot of ways. Really, I think going to bring a lot of new people into the mid-level of EUCs. The people that are kind of just dinking around in a V5F are going to look at this and say, well, it's not exorbitantly expensive, but it hits all the benchmarks that I'd ever want out of a wheel, and it's that perfect. We say this time and time again when people come in to buy a wheel, and they're aware of it themselves. If I get, you got a V8F, and 3-4 days later you moved into a
people
18XL?
They start with a starter wheel, and they ended up keep upgrading, and this is a wheel you can start with as a beginner
and end with.
You can grow into, and it's all you're ever going to need.
End with
unless you're an absolute fanatic of EUCs, and you probably have 3 wheels, and you're going to want to keep getting every new model. But
exactly. Yeah.
This thing will do everything you need. It's really a one-all, do-all EUC, which is great. And I think that's the best way to kind of summarize it.
Yep. The everything wheel.
The everything wheel that everyone seems to like. So we're also giving one away.
Important news.
We are giving away an InMotion V12.
It is July 14th right now, by the way, because this content
so it usually takes me a week to edit these things, so
contest will be running for 2 more days.
We'll probably have the contest running still when this gets published on YouTube. It's going to end July 31st, 2021, in case you're watching this a year down the road.
2026 or something. Remember when the V12 was, remember we didn't have solid state batteries?
So enter, you can go to our Instagram, which is, you can just search eevee, but their actual Instagram is @_eevee, We'll put it in do a little.
Yeah.
And
many ways to enter.
Yeah, you can also enter, and then you can click the link in our bio, and there's a lot of other ways to enter to increase your chances of winning. You can join our Telegram group and our Facebook page, and
no strings attached, no cost. Just go, click, enter, pick all the different avenues you want to enter, put your email in, go through all the stuff, and you could have a pretty damn good odds of winning the best everything wheel.
And the contest is open worldwide.
Yep.
So you can enter, live anywhere in the world. And if you live outside of US and Canada, we only ask that you pay the shipping and duties and taxes, import fees. Other than that, I'm excited.
That's about it.
That's it.
Signing out for today. Hey guys, give us your hot takes on the V12. It's not there. It's actually there. Give us your hot takes on the V12 in the comments and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Have you wrote it yet? If you've wrote it, what did you think? Do you agree with us?
If you haven't ridden it, I don't want to hear your hot takes.
Well, if you want, you're right.
I'm kidding. I still want to hear.
We want to hear, what are you excited about? What are you worried about? Ask us any questions. We ride it almost every day, and we see other people ride it every day, so we kind of get a good idea of people's feedback. And if you live in Vancouver, BC, Canada, not the lesser Vancouver in Washington. If you live in Vancouver, BC, or anywhere close to it, come on down to the shop. We're located at 230 East Pender Street. You can take any wheel for a ride. We let people go around Stanley Park, take it for an hour. We ask that you bring your wheel as collateral. If you don't, just bring ID and a credit card, and we'll work things out.
Firstborn child.
So firstborn child works too.
Yeah, no.
All right, that was it. That wasn't a bad. Okay. All right.